Hello, peeps. It's Tracey here, the paper pusher, friendly neighborhood Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Um, this is the Friday fun fold, and yes, it is Saturday night because for most of yesterday, even after I got the reminder on my phone that made me know it was Friday morning, I spent the whole day thinking it was Thursday, and I just had so much going on that I couldn't make it work. And then I had 3 different events today, so it's late, and I'm finally getting this done, but my goal of no outside, anything, no electronics, no whatever, just nice, calm, peaceful Sundays is already somewhat disrupted. So I'm trying to minimize that. So we're going to do it late night. You get late night Tracey. So um, anyway, here's a good hint as what's to come. So today, Fun Fold Friday. One of my favorite parts of this card is probably the envelope because look at this cat. Flippin' love this cat stamp. This first card I used, this is from the July online exclusives. And look at him, I just love him. I mean, they're all very cute, but I just love the look on his face. And there's a marvelous set of dies that comes with it. So that's what I used for the first one. There's also this great embossing folder. I don't think I used the embossing folder on the card though, but I've used this for lots of stuff. Christmas, birthdays, Halloween. Oh, love it. So we got that one. Okay, so here's the card. Here's the fold. That's when I gotta move stuff out of the way. Oh, I did use it. Okay, I just couldn't remember because if I could see the back was black and I totally lost my train of thought. So yeah, this is the stamp, and I just stamped it in white and loved. I was playing. I like cut one of everything and all the different colors, and I just love how it turned out. So it ended up on here, and these little bat embellishments. I mean, come on. I'll show you the ghost ones on something else. Oh, a different card. Okay. Anyways, they're cute. So this is the fun fold. Whoa! See, there's that cat again. And this is the embossing folder. I embossed it on our black two-tone cardstock. And so when you emboss it, it already starts, like all the erased parts already start to get a little of the core starts to show. But then I just took my handy dandy standing block, which I have an old Stampin' Up! One. I don't actually know if it says Stampin' Up! On it. It's just one of these old blocks. But in the new catalog, yes, the September catalog. I had to think, was it May or September? The September catalog, they have now brought back sanding blocks. So you can get nice, good sanding blocks. I have a little tiny one that somebody gave me that came off Amazon, but these are like a good size. So yeah, I just gave it a little extra, and I just seriously love this thing. So I made one of these cards for my aunt for her birthday, and it occurred to me that my mom wanted to send her a garden shop like gift card. So it occurred to me that I could just like stick the thing here, and then it would be hidden until you opened it and you'd see it, but it wouldn't really get in the way of anything. So if you need one, I did not bring anything. I think on hers, I just cut it in, put it into the paper, but I couldn't put paper on the inside of this one. I'll show you why. Because this is not the right paper. This is the right paper. Because I made this, and you'll see in a minute when I show you how to make this. This is the piece from this card. And then you take it and you flip it over. But my problem is I didn't pay attention to what I was doing, and all my ghosts are upside down. So you could put it there, and then you could just only glue on three sides, and then you could just have a little place, and you could probably tuck it in kind of down here a little bit smaller too, and it would, anyways, finagle with it a little bit. So I'll show you when we get to that stage. I'll show you the 2 mistakes I made with paper, because hey, why make one when you can make 2? But anyways, I have no idea what this is called. I saw it ages ago, and I just liked it. And it does stand up and shows you a little bit of the, anyways, it's awesome. So that's one. And then again, this little like sunflower peeking in here. Love it. Then we made one with radiant sunflowers. Now this one is from the September-December catalog. I love sunflowers. I have the old sunflower set, and I was like, do I need another one? Yes, you do. Look at those dies. Yeah, you do. I was having so much fun. You will be seeing a lot of this. I think I made 3 other cards with this set. But anyways, this is where this one comes from. And this one does have the coordinating paper. And at first I was like, "Ooh, that might be too much." But I thought this seemed kind of neutral. It like with just the tone on tone of the background. And then I like the of color in the middle. So these are the same sunflowers. Oh, see, I didn't show you any of the other cards. I made all these other cards. Let's just see here. This came from the sunflower thing. That's how creative that thing is. Oh, one of my absolute favorite card layouts. And look at this cute sunflower. And this is one of the new embossing folders. It looks like tree rings, like you cut a tree open. So this is the same sunflower. I just did it in a different color. And then here's what I was going to show you. Look at those little ghosts. Those are the other little embellishments. And that's just a card that I made. Anyways, so all those things, because I was making them all at the same time, I keep thinking you haven't seen. Okay. And then same thing. This one pops open and there's a card. So we are going to make one as we go. And then I'll point out my mistakes as we go. Okay, so here's what you need. You need a landscape card base, 8.5 by 5.5. And we are going to, like, instead of using it landscape, we are going to turn a portrait. We're going to do some cutting on that one afterwards. This one is 8.5 by 3. And this is also scored in half. So this is scored at 4.25 as well. And then you need an inside layer and some outside layers and some decorations. And I'm going to show you all that as we go, because I'm not exactly sure how I'm doing this card yet, because I'm going to show you as I went what my thought process was. And we're just going to wing it. Okay, so let's get out our handy dandy trimmer. I don't know if we have to stamp or not, but I knocked my paper on the floor. Okay, so this is how the card is going to open, right? Boop. And then the flap's going to be here. So what we need to do is we need to cut this top corner off. So I'm going to open my little trimmer. I'm going to go from where the bend is. The bend, the score line, the fold, bend, that's not even close, to the point down here. And I will show you on the other one how I totally screwed that up, and you can't really tell. So I've got the score line in the track, and I've got the point of the card. I just realized it's off screen. The point of the card in the track. And I'm just going to, two things in the way. I'm just going to make sure nothing moved. The number of times I get everything lined up, and then as I close this little thing, I knock everything side. Yeah. And then, what? And there's a triangle. Now, you could use this on a different card. You could trim it down. You could do all sorts of things. If not, it's just a good chunk of paper for die cutting. I just had a thought with this. I'll show you, given my track record on the other thing. Yeah. Okay, so nope, I'll just bring this back when we need it. Sorry. I was having too many thoughts go through my head at once, because I had an idea right as I thought of it. I was like, oh, I just solved my problem. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. So the corner is actually where the corner is supposed to be. And I'm going to score. So that is the first, oops, making all the noise in the world here. So that's the first part of our card. And then we have our 8.5 one, which we scored at 4.25. We're just going to give that a nice little burnish. And then, there we go. So, it's a fancy card. It looks like a lot of work. It's fun. Ta-da! That's the card. Now, let's bring these two back, shall we? So this one has a black embossed background. 2 different colors of DSP on the front. This one has one color DSP like as my background on the front. Like I matched these two. They're obviously 2 different squares, so they don't exactly match. And then my bright little spotlight in the center. So I thought, well, shouldn't I be able to do one of these cards just all in white? And the thing is, I have such good DSP, and I like so many of our DSPs that I keep wanting to use DSP. But my thought for this card was, what if I just used embossed white? I'm realizing that actually maybe I could actually fix this. Oh, well, look at that. Because then I could put these back down where they were a little bit. Move this closer to me, which is where I was working. Okay, so that's what we want. And then I definitely want to like dry fit this just to make sure. This goes in and you just kind of center it in the middle. And then we do need a piece. This piece is, I'll have all the measurements afterwards, but I'm just rambling them off now. This one is 2 3/4 by 4. And we need one that goes in the inside of this card so you can write on it. So I mentioned putting a gift card here. What did I do with my gift card? There it is. You could also put one where it's in here. And because it folds down like this, I think you could, I don't actually have anything. Oh, let's just pretend. You could just do it like this and just put a little pocket here at the end, put adhesive on 3 sides of it, maybe pretty it up a bit, cut it to the right size, and then you would have a little gift card here that would just, they would see when they flipped it open, and as soon as you flip it open, you would be able to slide this out. So there's another option for gift card holder. And then we do this, and then we close this, and then we have this. So my thought was, I should be able to put, I wasn't sure how it would look. See, because I have this. This DSP came out with the July online exclusives. And it's in the 5 new in colors. And it's a tight, smaller gingham and then a bigger buffalo check looking. And I absolutely love this paper. And so I want to use it on everything. And so I was going to do that. And I mean, I probably still could, but, right. So you'd have like, but anyways, I thought, no, this is the backup plan. The plan is we're going to do everything in white. So I'm going to use this one. This is a new embossing folder from the September-December catalog. Not quite gingham or buffalo check, but it's very funky and I like it. So we're going to use this one here. And then it doesn't actually fit right. And then I think I'm just going to have to cut that because I can't make it work. And then I was just going to keep this plain white because, what did I do with it? There it is. This is also from the July online exclusives. I'm finally getting around to using a bunch of them. I did a card before with this poinsettia. I do love pointed setters. This is from the Pretty Pointed Setter. And it has these fabulous, these are the impressions dies. So you can cut them first and then you run them through on the impressions plate and they just puff up like crazy. They're awesome. Okay, so we have that one. So because this was going to be full and I was just going to put a stamp here, I thought I'm going to go, and I mean, I could have done a white card base. That would have been like white on white on white on white. But I was thinking if I do a dark card base and just do all the whites, I'm going to give it a shot. So what we need to do then, just to see if we're for sure going to like that or not. Plus, I have a whole video on the pointed setter one. But look at this little dude. This is the smallest of them. And it makes the teeny tiniest, cutest little poinsettia. So I have one of those to put on the inside. Okay, so what we need now is we need to cut this piece to go here. So this piece is, a couple things to show you. So first off, when I told you I was doing too many things at once. So you'll notice that you see where the corner of this is? I don't think I can make it work. I'm about 1/8 of an inch back from this corner. Totally missed what I was cutting, like total wrong angle. But you can't really tell. If I hadn't pointed it out, you probably wouldn't know. So you just go with what works for you and don't get too hung up on too many things. When I did this the first time, I had written down the instructions when I did my aunt's card and I looked everywhere and I couldn't find them. Oops, sorry, I'm off screen. I couldn't find them anywhere. So I happened the other day to be going across something and I saw a different person doing it. And so I was like, ooh, I'll just grab her measurements. So this was the original measurements. Can't remember her name. And I don't think it's the right measurements. Like I like to have an equal boundary, like the border on everything. Well, this border is too thick compared to these two, and they end way too far back here. So I adapted the measurements. So the original measurements, I added 1/8 to just so I could get this to come out a little bit. But if you have trouble with this, like getting the right size here or picking the right size, I will give it to you now. But don't worry about it. If you cut your paper a little bit crooked, don't worry about it. Like I don't even think, I think by the time, especially with an interactive card, people are like, ooh, they're not even going to notice anything on that one. Again, love that cat. Okay, so this starts out now as 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay. I like that size better. And we're going to do the same thing. We'll just use this as a guide. We're going to do the same thing as we did here, right? So I'm going to cheat, because I think it'll be long enough, and use my little guillotine so I don't have to move everything off my table again. Nope. Not long enough. Okay. We'll just move those ones back again. I'll put this down again. Okay. So now this would matter. This is just pattern paper, saving myself the grief. Embossed paper, I should say. So there's not an up or down direction to it. If you did have patterned paper, this is where you would actually stop for a moment. And I did catch myself in time and think, okay, if I'm going to cut the paper, do I want to use, because even if you're not making a gift card holder, like it'd be fun to put something on the inside here, right? Just to, you know, and this piece of paper could be used on a different card. Like if you make 2 of these, I could use this piece here and make a second card, right? Like I'm setting myself up for success. But if you want, you can put it on the inside. So this is how the paper originally was. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut from this corner down to here. Now, when you flip your card open, the only way this fits is to flip it over. Hence the reason my ghosts are upside down. Now, if I had put this piece on the front and taken this piece, I'm pretty sure this piece, the ghost would have been going the right direction, right? Because if they're upside down this way, then this corner, which would have been like this, they would have been going the right direction. So I could have still cut the paper the exact way I did and just looked at it before I attached it, but I didn't. So if you do plan on putting it on the inside, make sure you pay attention to this. And if it makes it easier to cut, like if I really wanted this to be the direction, right? This is what goes up. Then I can also just cut it the other way. Okay. So if I cut this way, then this is my inside piece and this is my front piece. Okay. Now the other thing, because I told you I made 2 mistakes. The first 2 cards I made, I screwed both of them up. I mean, you wouldn't know to look at it. I'm telling you I screwed them up. But if I just gave you this card, I would like to think you'd be like, ooh, and you wouldn't know I screwed up. Here's the other screw up. And this is just a screw up by my personal opinion. So this is with the new measurements. I'll show you that too. And I just think it has a nice even border on it now. So this was the same idea, right? I cut this piece of paper and I thought, nice. And I'll just open this up and I'll just add this to the inside. Except for, I don't think the paper matches. So I could have probably picked a different pattern and I probably could have got one that worked. But this, as soon as I opened it up, I was like, ooh, no. So either cut 2 pieces of paper. Rascal. I get too excited. The dog thinks something's going on, has to come defend the house. It's pitch black out. It's not like he can see anything outside. So if you're going to put one on the inside, just put some thought into it. I could have just picked 2 different sheets of paper. I can't make this work, right? There's no other like configuration that makes this work. It basically flips over this way. So yeah, could have picked a paper that matched. Now, if I had done this on pecan pie, then this would have been fine to be the reverse side of it. This would not have matched so much, but you know, it would have worked. But I didn't. So yeah, just things to remember. As I've done 2 of them wrong, I'm going to save you the trouble. Okay. So same thing I did last time. Upper left, lower right. Now I'm just going to put the points in the tracks. And I'm going to cut. Ta-da! Now, like I said, this one, much easier. Right? Because I can just flip it over because it just looks like that. The other thing, though, that I had this genius idea as I was doing it. The other thing you could do, though, if you wanted, you could be like less fancy about it and just make it blend in. But I could take this piece and put it on the inside and make this into the gift card holder, right? Because it's just the same tone, the same color. But this is going to be the exact same size. You're not even going to see that there's a slot or anything in it. So you would want to cut this down. And I think I should only just have to cut a 1/4 inch off. Oh, look at that. See, I was going to say I have to cut a 1/4 inch off this side and a 1/4 inch off this side. But why does it look like if I just cut that 1/4 inch thing, it's going to be enough? Is it because it's an angle? Oh, good Lord. It is too late at night for this kind of math. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to use this as a template. Oh, I don't think I cut through enough because I had that other. Oh, I did too. You know what? I usually I throw scraps away, but I'm like, that's a nice long piece that can go behind things. So I just cut this down to the same as I would have cut the other one. Look at that. You just got to cut one piece. Oh, cut a 1/4 inch off that. So now I could do it. I could double it up because I could stamp. I could put die cuts. I could do all sorts of things. But now I have a nice little pocket as well. So there's that for an idea. But in the meantime, let's get back to the original idea. How about I move that out of my way? So now let's dry fit again and see if it works with all white or if I should put some DSP on it. This would probably be easier if I had actually finished the front of these things, but we'll just leave those there for now because we have to stamp on those. So I find it easier to put this in the middle because then I can know where it's going to go. And I just hold it while I pop it open. There we are. And then we're going to pick. Now, the one difference is, but I don't think it's going to matter with this paper, but the one difference is embossed, debossed. So when you flip this over to be on the inside, it is the reverse side of it. Most of our embossing folders work that way. There's the odd one that only looks good on one side, but most of them will work. And then we're going to put this down. I have to stamp on this one. Now, because it has this big, bold red flower in the middle, which of course needs dimensionals, I don't know. Is that too much white? Here, just a minute. It's not fair to judge that. So just use this ink pad here. I need to. This is a big flower. So I need to put a couple dimensionals on it. I want to stamp around this flower though, so I might as well get the flower, how the flower is going to be. I'm not going to leave it on there to stamp. The plan was to raise it. I have buried my stamp set. So this is the one that comes with you as a pointed set. I like when things hang off, like off of the card or whatever. You just have to make sure that if you're going to do that, that you're careful where I got lots of room to push that up. You're careful where you put your adhesive so you don't actually, glue your card shut. Now, the one I would like to put is this one, but it might be too big. So this is going to have to go like that. Yeah, that's hanging off too much. I wanted it down here. A little bit hanging off is fine, but that's too much. So I have this new stamp set and I want to use it for everything now. I haven't actually used it, but I still want to. Let me just show you. It just cracks me up. So I got this one, the one card I showed you. I already used the little thank you out of it. This is also from the September to December catalog. This one here that says, spoiler alert, it's not a pony. I love it. I mean, there's a lot going for this stamp set, but I saw that was like, oh, I have to have that. Well, then, of course, I saw this, which I have not played with yet. I did play with these. And it was like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. But I absolutely love this. Spoiler alert, it's not a pony. You know what else I find funny myself? Is you make a really pretty card or really elegant card, and then you put some smart arse comment on it, and people aren't expecting it because it's such a pretty card. Okay, so the other one I like, I love the new packaging, like the new envelopes. But in the old packaging, as soon as I got my stamp set, I would instantly take it off these two pieces of plastic and throw these plastic away. And just have it stuck to the thing. But now I need to use these, and I really don't like them. I haven't come up with a better solution, though. I did come up with, if they're noisy, I think that's what bugs me, but I did come up with a better solution for the old stamp sets that I'm converting. So maybe that's just what I got to do for all of them. But okay, just a minute. We have some gold foil. I've been playing with gold foil. That's a little leftover piece from something else. I need this bigger block. So I'm going to go with this one instead. I like this one as well. I just wanted it to be the other one. Okay, so let's see if we can do all the stamping at once. So, and this is where you could decide, like these ones. Yeah, put them just far enough away. They're hard to pick up. These ones both have sentiments on separate paper, and then I just, actually now that I look at it, I fussy cut both of them. This is not fussy cutting, but I did cut them both out. But this one I'm going to stamp right directly onto the front. The one thing I wasn't sure about with this was, let me just do a little, how well loved is that? I have this little container that is just the perfect size because I cut my chamois in half, and it's just the perfect size. I can get most blocks in here. The bigger ones I have to pull the chamois out, and it just sits under my desk, and then I don't get water anywhere, and I don't set it. It's on a shelf, not under my desk. And then I don't drop my finished products in the wet thing. Works so well for me. Okay. What is missing from the snap set? Why does it feel like there's, I don't know that anything's missing, but it feels like there's a big gap in here. I must have put it on differently. I'm a better Tetris player than them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is 12. Let's see what the stamp set says. Stamp set says 13. Ah, there we go. That's why. Because I have this stamp out. I was like, what the heck did I do? That was for the insides. Okay, so I have this. See, now this is, I should have maybe had a better plan, but I just wanted to see how, yeah, see, I like all the whites together for sure, especially now that I have a little bit extra color. I don't actually think I'm going to put any like extra stamping on there. I think I'm going for the clean look, but I did get these out. I also need an envelope, I realize now. Move those out of my way. So this is another one of the stamps that's in there. It's totally the wrong color. Just close that before I accidentally stamp in it or set something in it. So yeah, this is the cutest little thing with the poinsettias. We're just going to put that on the inside of the card. I'm going to actually go in 2 corners. Why? Because I can. Oh, screwed that up. The last minute I rocked it. But that's okay. Paper's got 2 sides, so we'll just flip it over. I'm rushing now because it's late and I'm tired. And, you know, I can hear my bed saying, yo, woman, where are you? Wah, 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 wah. That's my DJ stamping. Now, I was, and if you watch my video that I did showcasing this suite, you'll notice that I had some masks. And I was all ready to cut masks out for this. And then I realized that I couldn't cut the masks out because if I did, they'd all just be separate little pieces. Like it wouldn't be one piece like this. And what my original thought wasn't going to work. I don't think poinsettias look like this. I don't think the stem looks like this. I think they look very bushy, and I think the green leaves are right up behind. So I was cutting them apart. So it is just my personal take on poinsettias, as it is. This is the little homemade DSP that I made when I did that. So we'll use this as an example. That the green, like the whirl of green leaves, is right underneath the whirl of red leaves. Because they all start green, and then these ones turn red. So they should all be like together. So this is what I like. So I was trying to achieve that. I was going to do a mask so that I could do, because with most poinsettia, I got to stop saying poinsettias. With most poinsettia stamps, you can go one way, and then if you just turn it a little bit, you can offset the leaves and you can get the green ones. So if you mask out the red, you can get the green. Well, I decided that as much as that might be my great idea, oops, just a minute. I forgot the envelope. I took the envelope out, just forgot it. As much as I thought that was such a good idea to put these little dudes on there, and I would just flip it around and do the leaves. It's not going to work. And I mean, that's fussy little masks, so I don't know that that's going to work. It works perfect on the big ones. I have a very well used mask for the big ones, but it didn't work on the little ones. So I had an idea. I know for anybody watching and actually paying attention, like to the details. Yes, I am cleaning my stamps and putting them away as I go. Is this perhaps the first time I've ever done this on a live? Oh, absolutely. Is this the first time I've ever done it in real life? Yeah, just about. Um, but I have 5 sweets on the go right now. I'm making cards as thank yous for the people that are helping us with my brother's ashes in Halifax, which is where we're going in September. I got to make a whole bunch of nautical and thank you and lighthouse cards and, theme cards, bunch of thank you cards. I'm working on all my samples for my open house on the 29th of August. Love it if you came. You get to see all the stuff in person. Plus, we're going to make some of the make and takes. So it'll be lots of fun. Plus, I am finishing up stuff for extravaganza. I'm working on my own fall cards. I got people's birthdays. So I am trying to keep my desk manageable right now. So, okay. So my solution I had, because I couldn't mask, and I'll start with the envelope. So this is the other thing. I'm going to use my blends marker, and I don't want my blends to go through my envelope and make little weird spots on the back. So I just take a piece of cardboard and I stick it in my envelope. I don't usually color. I have though, but I don't usually. Usually whatever I put on the envelope is a fairly basic stamp. But I decided this time, because it was pretty basic that I was going for, that I should be able to just go through and make some just little points in between the petals. And it kind of works. And it would kind of look like that. I'm realizing now I need yellow centers on these, though. But if I do this... Now, when I'm coloring on the other cardstock, see, well, look at that. So instead of being this, which is just the plain... I'll get it to focus yet. I now have little leaves. So would I do a big elaborate thing, and would I do it with maybe this size flower? No. But I would do it with these little babies, and they're adorable. Like I said, though, I do need some yellow. Let me just see. We do not have crushed curry, which is the yellow I would go to, or I could use gold. But we do have darling duckling, which is very close to yellow, or close to crushed curry. Yeah, see, there's tiny little gaps in there. And so this is just giving the tiniest little bit of yellow in the center, but I still like it. And yeah, I go to a lot of trouble on the envelopes, it seems, but Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing really quick on here. I like how this turned out. I realize now that I should have double stamped the pointed center part, the red part, and then done the leaves in between. But as it turns out, this is working quite well. And yeah, the little gaps that are in there. Did I need to stamp this twice to make this much work? No. Didn't think that one through. I also realize now that I've made it very weird to write in this, but this is perfect for the person who doesn't actually like to write a lot in the middle of their card. Just stamp it up so much that you basically just have room for your initials. Oops, screwed that up. That's okay. I doubt they'll notice. I got a little carried away, rushing too much. Then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow. It's very sloppy on the yellow, but it doesn't matter because I'm just trying to hit the white parts. There we go. Okay. No naked insides, no naked outsides. Envelopes. Okay. So now, see, proof that we all make mistakes. And we are going to put this on the inside. I realized I was watching Creativity Now this afternoon, which is a demo event and it is basically just about being creative. I don't know, I said that so weird. I can see my pointed setters, the ones I screwed up. I can see them through here. So, you know what? Nope. I'm going to take it off and redo it, but I'm going to redo it afterwards, so you guys don't have to sit and watch me do it. But yeah, I'll take it off so that doesn't get so bad that I can't get it off. Anyways, as I was doing it, and they kept asking questions like, "So, what do you do for this? And how do you hold your snail? And what's your favorite adhesive?" And as I was doing it, I thought, well, I love tear and tape, but I also love glue dots. But then I was making these cards, and I'm not sure which one of the cards I made. I realized that on that one card alone, I used the white glue, the tear and tape, the glue dots, and the seal. So for each adhesive, there is a job. Oops, I just realized I didn't glue this down. There is a job, and I like to use them all. Okay, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put this backing piece down before I go to put the thing on top of it. And again, we're just looking for equal outlines on all the sides. I start on the bottom, and then I do the two sides because I figure if I've got three sides evenly spaced, the fourth should be two. The problem with embossed paper is sometimes the embossing seems to like shrink it a little bit, but that's fine. I used the tear and tape on this piece just because it's not a fancy mechanism, and it's not one that's going to get like a lot of torque on it, but it is the mechanism, and I like to make sure it's not going to fall off. So we go with the strongest. Now again, we're just going to center this. Make it straight and centered. There we go. I shouldn't have pushed so hard on it because there's a little residue from the... There we go. Okay, so then we open this and we close this. And I think it was this one I was using. I'm going to put this guy on the front. This is the one where the other one I was doing, I used the white glue because I wanted to get all the way to the tip, because if not, that's the part that's going to lift. Right? This tiny little point that we're trying to get to. But you just got to be creative with your seal. And then this one. Can't see where the edge is to make sure I'm getting it straight. We'll just put something in there so I can see. See, if I had the white center, I'd be able to tell that, but I didn't. So the other consideration you're going to want, and I'll show you in a minute with that one, because it just occurred to me. I was about to just instantly do it, but it occurred to me that that's not a good idea. This one I'm putting, that was the other question. You put it down, just a couple strips down the middle on the edge. I, for the most part, put mine around the edge, but especially if I'm going to put a bunch of stuff on it. And this one, I'm not putting a bunch of stuff. Look at how good that looks with just the green and white. Oh, good call. Thank you. But yeah, if I'm going to put like something heavier on it, then yeah, I most definitely want... Why do I not put things... I don't know. I like things off kilter, I guess. These poinsettias are weird in the fact that they're not even close to symmetrical. And there's... Sometimes they look upside down to me, and I don't know how. It's a flower. It really can't be upside down, but... well, I guess it could, but like this kind... Look at that. I'm going to put some embellishments on it. So these are all the new embellishments. These aren't even all. There's three more sets. These were the ones I was using. I can't decide, but I think I'm just going to go with little gold ones. Keep it classy, Tracey. Is this like taped shut, or what am I doing here? I was holding on to the paper in the back. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, my eye is super itchy. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to... I'm just going to pop some of these guys on. This is why I decided that I didn't really need to stamp on here, because between the sentiment, the embellishments, and the pointed center, I figured we'd have enough on the front. So look at that. That is just cute. You may have noticed I'm not really a ribbon person. I buy the ribbon, but I'm not really a ribbon person. You could put a bow or a ribbon on it, but I don't think I'm going to. I do think, though, that I'm going to move this dot, because I feel like it's not where it's supposed to be. And that it's supposed to be down, not up. There we go. So my thought that I was having, like, whoop, you know what I just realized? I took this out to put on the inside, and then I didn't, and then I screwed up the inside, and so I could have just made my life a whole lot easier. Where's my paper? I have squeakiest chair. Okay, so this is how I store my my scraps. These sit on top of my whole sheets of paper, and this is just a clear file folder, and then I can just pull out all the bits and pieces. Lots of times, the white one is very full for my basic white paper. For whatever reason this time, yes, I have 2 guillotines and a trimmer, and I'm using this one. No, it is not Stampin' Up, but Stampin' Up doesn't sell the guillotines anymore. This is 2 3/4, right? Yes. But the little guillotine, that one that Stampin' Up had before, but they also no longer sell. There is a size limit on it. There's a size of paper that can fit, so I had to break down and buy the medium one. Because for some things, I just like the guillotine better than the trimmer. Okay. So I have to do this because I realize now if I'm going to put that other piece on here. And yeah, I'm going to make this a whole lot easier because I'm going to use the thing I took out and not actually stamp it and screw it up again. So there we go. It did work for the envelope though, so I like that. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then because I have so much, you know what I just realized? Darn it. It didn't happen on the other ones, but look at this card. Because when I open it, so there we go. I've made mistakes on all 3 cards. You're welcome. Now you know what not to do. So I should have kept this down a little bit so it wasn't poking off as much. But with any luck, the person who reads it, oops, I keep getting a little too high there, just goes like this. Or we'll just do this on all of them. See how many of them stay curled up. There. Now it looks intentional. So because I have the bulk here, I'm going to put this little guy down here so it's not underneath where all the bulk is already. And yes, this thing is tiny, tiny, tiny and adorable. But I am still putting 2 glue dots on it. Because if you put 1 glue dot on it, then it spins. And it just doesn't sit right. But if you put 2, it just stays in place. There we go. Going with the 2. Except for as I was doing that, I was mucking up the leaves. Let's muck with an M. There we go. Oh, I told you, the most adorable. I'm just going to put him down there. And yeah, even though it's on the inside, I did put it up on glue dots because it gives it a little dimension. Okay, so here was my point I was making earlier. Well, we're not too bad. This is sticking pretty close to 1 layer, like on the front. Like it's not too bad with my little popped up element. I didn't pop up all the things like I like to. But this would be the thing I would advise. If you are going to put like all, and we'll just do it this way just to see, if all embossed papers on the inside, you got to realize you're making your card pretty thick. Oh, see, I can tell this is not too bad. With that extra layer and this, I think you would need to do extra postage. So if you're going to mail your cards, maybe leave this layer out. But if you're handing your card to somebody, absolutely put another layer in there. That goes that way. I'm going to put it in there. So one of the things I found odd, and maybe it's just because, so this is me holding my snail, right? And, you know, there's a little point here for your finger. So I just try to get the points. But one of the questions was, do you hold your seal, I said snail, I think, like this or like this? Somehow with the thumb. I found that very awkward. Anybody hold a snail like this? Seal, sorry. And go like this? Yeah, it was awkward for me. I can't do things the proper way at the best of times. There, got a little extra color on the inside. We'll pop this guy back up like this. Ta-da! So yeah, it doesn't all have to be DSP, and I mean, I could do stamping. I could do all sorts of things there. But we do have some cool DSP, and I do like it with the DSP. So there you go. There's Friday's Fun Fold. 3 ways. Ta-da! I'm going to post this. I'm going to get all my stuff ready and post pictures and do all that kind of stuff. That'll probably show up on Sunday because I'm already late, so why not do it the right way and be a little bit later? So yeah, if you make one of these cards, I would love to see pictures of it, especially how you did the insides. I'm always curious about that too. And you could just post it right on underneath when I post mine. Alrighty. Thanks everybody for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, whatever day it is you're watching this, and whatever day I finally get it posted. Take care, everyone. Bye.